Oh, hello there. We've got a Thai minister who wants to ban YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We've got a story regarding a crazy cult as well as airport mishaps on today's Good Morning Thailand. Could you please take a moment to click the like and subscribe button? It helps us way more than you know. Hello and welcome to Good Morning Thailand, brought to you by Dewa Beach Resort, and we are currently at Trichada Sky.
This is the 3-bedroom Trichada Villa. We're in Chungtalay, Phuket. Thank you very much, Jay. Thank you for watching, viewer.
Yes.
And a bit wet today. In fact, we were saying yesterday, we'll do it outside, we'll do the program.
Yeah.
But luckily we didn't, because we'd be rather moist if we did.
Yes, we would be unnecessarily wet. But here we are in the kitchen.
Well,
And,
yes. With no food.
Yeah, with
I
no
checked the
food.
kitchen, I checked the refrigerator, not a sausage.
Yes, but if you buy this property, you can actually cook food here. Isn't that great?
It's sort of what happens in houses generally, yes.
Yeah, well, I have a house with a kitchen, but I can't cook.
No, and thank you very much to Food Panda.
Yeah.
What would you do
Yeah.
if Food Panda or Grab Food didn't exist?
Be like everyone else and
you'd
go
be
downstairs and eat.
You'd be a lot skinnier.
That's actually a very good idea. Just got to delete the app. Anyways, moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot of topics to discuss today, including a Thai minister, well, the Minister of Digital Economy and Society in particular, coming out and saying that he wants to ban 42 websites that include Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Twitter, not many people care that much in Thailand, let's be honest. It's more the business people and the foreigners. YouTube, yeah, I would be quite upset. But Facebook, you take Facebook away from Thailand,
It'd be a revolution.
Pandemonium out on the streets.
And you said a minister. I mean, this is one of the ministers of the cabinet, the Minister of Digital Economy or something.
And society.
So he's one of the leading ministers, and he, I would suggest, he's had a phone call and said, hey, would you do something about this? This is all part of the Lazada gate.
Yeah, this is not going away. I told you this is not going to go away.
This is something, it's just getting completely out of control.
Yes. Well, Kun Chaiwat, who is the Minister of Digital Economy and Society, for anyone who is not aware of the Lazada gate, this is because of the Lazada advert, which is very controversial. It came out in the last couple of days. Last week. Last week.
Yes.
And there's just been outrage from the public and people online that how could Lazada come out with this advertisement?
Some of the public, and what I would describe as royalist activists.
Yeah.
I don't think this is not like hugely widespread.
Yeah.
But it is a controversial topic.
It is a very controversial topic. Let's give a quick background. Lazada, for anyone who doesn't know, is an e-commerce online platform where you can basically buy everyday products to swimming pools.
Yes, I bought a swimming pool on it last week.
Yeah.
The thing is, if take away Facebook's bad enough, if you took Lazada away, it would be pandemonium. People would, how do I buy anything?
You've just got to shop here. I think
It'd be like you with your food.
Well, anyways, two influencers were basically in an advertisement where they were wearing high-sell clothing, and unfortunately, royalists deemed these two people to be mocking the royal family and the disabled, because in the advertisement there was one of the influencers was in a wheelchair, and because of their high-sell clothing and the way of the setting, people thought, hey, are you mocking the royal family? Because the royal family also has one member who
What's the king's sister?
Suffers from lupus, and
Prince Chulapon.
Yeah, and she's in a wheelchair. So
Princess, I'm sorry.
That's what the controversy has been all around.
Yeah, but like completely out of control sort of controversy, and the Prime Minister's stepped out in the last 24 hours and basically supported the outrage.
Yes.
We've got the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force saying that if you order something we prefer you didn't order something from Lazada, but if you did, it can't be brought onto the base. It has to be left at the front door. And they've sort of shamed Lazada by putting these cheap Thai what to do 3-metre tents out the front and putting these big Lazada signs saying that deliver here. So it's starting to get a little bit out of control. And the talk of banning 42 sites, which include, as you mentioned, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. I wonder if Thaiger's on that. Because we've been talking about it quite a lot.
Yeah, but we haven't played the ad or we're not promoting the ad, so I don't
But
think
we have had screenshots from the ad.
Yeah.
Anyway, we haven't
Are we
been...
not allowed to even talk about it or show it?
Well, we have, and we had, and we haven't been contacted. They're saying that they've contacted these 42
I guess we're safe
companies.
then, yeah.
And
Well-
Thaiger is a Singaporean company, so they'd have to send a letter to Singapore.
Yeah. Well, they have claimed to have discovered 42 websites in total who are sharing the advertisement. And Khun Chaiwat added that the government will also tell the owners that this content must be removed and that you will face legal action if you do share this. So.
And then there's another interesting paragraph. I think that's the next paragraph, Joe. It talks about how they sort of want people to understand that the Constitution guarantees freedom of speech in Thailand. However, there are some things that you can't talk about.
Yes.
So I think that was an interesting paragraph from him.
Yes,
Have you got it there?
basically, foreigners that Thais cannot accept such things, and they must stop doing this to Thailand. So it's almost as if it's a disrespect to Thailand. So
Because
they're taking a stand and saying that's not okay.
So Lazada being it's a Singaporean company which has a majority Chinese company shareholder being Alibaba.
Alibaba, yeah.
So they own 54% of it, but it's a Singaporean company.
We were talking about it, I think, a couple of weeks back. They're also trying to move into Europe, Lazada.
Sure, why not? I mean, Shopee and Lazada, there's a lot of other smaller ones, but so many people do so much of their shopping through these online platforms. And the big winners have been the delivery services, who have just blossomed during the past 2 years. And these two platforms in particular have just grown enormously. There is not much that you can't buy online these days, except I'm a bit funny buying clothes. Do you buy shirts and stuff online?
No.
Because
I can't.
Yeah, you just wouldn't know what size to order.
Yeah, especially because I mean, I'm a big boy, and unfortunately, it's very difficult to find fitting clothes in Thailand.
So I've been anywhere from medium up to 2XL in shirts.
Yeah.
So that's a big range, and I don't think I've ever bought a shirt that's actually fit, and I had to send it back.
But that's the thing. This is an XL from H&M, but this would probably be double XL for you.
Something like
or
that.
in another country. Who knows?
Shoes I seem to have a bit more success with.
I'm an L in the Middle East.
There you go.
Who would have thought?
Yes.
Who would have thought? Not me. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to check out all of today's Thailand headlines with Natty. We'll be back
Hi, Natty.
right after this.
Here are Thailand's top headlines for this morning. Phuket is gearing up plans to attract 3.5 million international tourist arrivals by the fourth quarter this year. President of the Phuket Tourist Association, Phumkiti Raktangam, said foreign arrivals have increased to 3,000 to 5,000 per day since May 1st, compared with 400 to 500 per day during the sandbox period and 2,500 per day under the test and go scheme, following the recent easing of travel restrictions. Mr. Phumkiti said India has contributed the most inbound foreign tourists this month with an average of 1,000 per day, followed by Australia with around 10,000 visiting Phuket in April. Other leading markets for Phuket were UK, Singapore, Malaysia, and Saudi Arabia. He also mentioned that concerns over the viral situation should no longer be a huge concern and is optimistic that the island can potentially draw 3.5 million foreign tourists this year. Mr. Phumkiti's strategy to lengthening the stay of each tourist from 4 to 5 days to 6 is through recreational activities and attractions. He believes that instead of prioritizing volume, the island would benefit more if they lure in high-spending tourists with activities and new tourism sites. So far, in the first 4 months of 2022, Phuket has seen over 300,000 international visitors so far. Thailand is discontinuing its once mandatory COVID-19 tracking application Mo Chana or Dr. Wins from June 1st. Mo Chana was once commonly used to track coronavirus cases and notify people if they had been exposed to COVID-19. Mo Chana, which was launched on April 29, 2020, used GPS and Bluetooth to track the movement of users who were expected to use the application to scan a barcode to check in to venues during the height of the pandemic. In January 2021, Health Minister Anutin Charnvirakul said anyone who contracted COVID-19 without having previously downloaded and used the app would be subject to up to 2 years imprisonment and a fine of up to 40,000 baht. The threat was criticized as unfair on people without smartphones. However, over time, use of the Mo Chana fell out of use and many venues no longer expected attendees to check in using the app. Recently, Mo Chana made an announcement via Facebook that the application will be discontinued from June 1st. A case of a good intention gone bad. A man from the Isan province of Buriram is being convicted for allegedly stealing 300,000 baht from his stepmother because he wanted to make merit by giving it away. He gave away 109,000 baht in cash at a local market and bought products valued at 200,000 baht, which he gave away to locals for free. CCTV footage shows 39-year-old Wutisak sitting on a motorbike and spreading banknotes all over the floor at a local market in Buriram province on Saturday at 3 a.m. Locals and merchants were tripping over each other trying to collect all the cash. Her stepson stole her bank card and used it to take money out of the ATM before giving it to locals out of the goodwill of his heart. Thai media reported that 70-year-old Som Wang filed a complaint at the Satuk police station in Buriram province on Monday. She asked police to help her track down the cash. The superintendent of Satuk police station said police had visited the market to urge sellers and residents to return the cash. They said anyone identifiable on the CCTV could face charges if they didn't return the money. So far, the police have collected a grand total of 2,900 baht. Wutisak admitted stealing the money and handing it out at the market in the early hours of Saturday morning.
And welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand. Tim Newton, you've got some final statements.
Yeah, just final statements before I'm dragged away. Just about the whole Lazada gate thing. There's all this huffing and puffing that's been coming from the government and some prominent royalists. A lot of them have been saying this is an affront to disabled people. And I understand how it could be misconstrued as offensive in some ways. But the thing is, if the Army and the Minister of Digital Economy and the Air Force, if they are so concerned about disabled people, what about the access to their bases? What about any concessions they make for disabled people? I have never heard any of them mention disabled people any time in the past. And I'm just concerned that it's got very little to do with their real concern about disabled people and more to do about grandstanding over a possible affront to the royal family. So I'm just a bit concerned. I think, talking about disabled access is definitely worth talking about. The Thaiger has done it in the past where we've talked about the problem of disabled people getting around the streets of Bangkok. So if they're so concerned, let's see some improvement in disabled access to all the military bases around Thailand.
All right. There we have it.
That's a great shot.
What's a great shot?
Look at this one with all the headroom.
That is. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got really high ceilings.
Oh my God. Oh dear. We're just, Jason's playing around with the framing and rather funny.
Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our
next topic.
Yes. Our next topic is regarding the Thailand government will most likely keep the diesel cap prices. He's lost it. You lost it. You have that moment where you can't keep a straight face anymore.
God. All right. So diesel cap. Yes, off we go. I'm talking about it, am I?
Yes.
Okay, so the diesel cap. The Thai government is talking about retaining this cap on the diesel prices. It has been a very important part of keeping the... very important part of keeping the price. We're turning to shit.
Yeah.
Very important part of keeping the prices down over the prices for anything that's delivered by a diesel truck.
Yeah.
And it went from 30 baht a litre up to, it has been lifted up to 32 baht a litre. And they're saying that the actual real retail price for diesel at the moment is 40 baht a litre. So they're saying, okay, so we're going to keep it at 32 baht a litre at least until the 27th of May. But this problem with diesel prices or fuel prices generally around the world is going to go on a lot longer than the 27th of May. So now they're talking about after the 27th of May, they may lift it up. But they're still trying to apply some sort of cap to the diesel prices to keep it down at least a bit, to try and keep some of the prices under control in Thailand. Because once those diesel prices run away, the true diesel price, if it gets up to 40 baht a litre, then we're going to see costs of everything start to explode around Thailand. So the prices in Thailand for everyday goods and food and stuff, and your shirts, your extra large shirts and things being delivered, is being artificially suppressed by the government, and at least they're trying to do something to control the prices.
Cap on diesel prices.
Your car runs on leaded fuel.
Just pure kerosene.
It's 95, I think.
Kerosene, not kerosene. Kerosene's the thing you put in your hair.
Well, you've got a very special car. Yours is half electric, isn't it?
Hybrid, yeah.
It's a hybrid,
Yeah.
but you've got 95 on the petrol?
95.
Yeah, so you're not getting any cap at all. You'd be paying, what, 45 baht a litre now?
That's if you use V power. It's, I think, 38 for 95.
Well, 91, in fact, Jason was telling me this morning, he filled up his car this morning. It runs on 91.
E20.
So really nasty stuff. And he cost him 1,500 baht to fill the tank. What would it usually cost you, say, 6 months ago? 1,000 baht. Yeah, this is the problem I'm having. That I used to fill up for around about 1,000 baht. Now it's costing me 1,500 baht. Yeah. So the fuel prices for petrol have really leaped up. Diesel, they're still keeping the cap on it because so many deliveries are made by diesel-powered trucks.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyways, our next topic, ladies and gentlemen, now the fact that we're in Phuket. We shall let people know, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently at Trichada Sky Villas.
So let's have a bit of a look at the Trichada Villa. This is actually the villa that we're looking at the moment. Yeah. Is the one we were at on Monday, the larger villa.
That's right.
That was a 4-bedroom. This one is a 3-bedroom villa.
Yeah.
And they're all much the same sort of style. We've got the pale timbers and the neutral colours accented with sort of the highlights of blue and turquoise, colours of the Andaman.
Yes.
And all of them have got the fantastic landscaping with the tropical plants. These tropical plants have gone absolutely mental. Look at that fan palm, or I think it's called a traveller palm, and the birds of paradise are monsters. They're like they've got elephantitis. But anyway, all these are beautifully manicured gardens, nice pools, everything about these villas is real quality. And thank you very much to Doug from Trichada Villas for inviting us in.
From Trichada. Trichada Villas, I got confused as well. Trichada Villas is the name of the first project.
Okay.
So I guess it's Trichada, and then it's Trichada Villas, Trichada Sky, where we are, and then there's Trichada Breeze, which is the next project.
And those villas are a little bit larger.
Yes.
And a little bit more space around them. And they're the ones that are currently available. But they all sort of look roughly the same as this.
That's right.
Very neutral, nice, modern Thai.
And you can visit tigerproperty.com to find out more information and look into the villas.
Tigerproperty.com, and then in the search put Trichada, Trichada.
There's a link in the description below.
There you go, makes it easy.
All right, now Phuket is eyeing 1 million arrivals in the fourth quarter.
1 million per month?
No.
For the whole fourth quarter.
For the whole fourth quarter, so the last 3 months of the year.
So 330,000 arrivals per month. That sounds, given what the numbers are currently, possibly achievable.
Possibly achievable, yeah. I think it is an optimistic approach. I think they have to be a bit optimistic if they're even going to get close to that number.
There's a lot of assumptions.
Yes.
So assuming that they get rid of the Thailand pass, assuming they get rid of masks, assuming that international travel keeps bubbling along, assuming people start travelling more, these are a lot of assumptions, by the way, with a lot of potential turbulence ahead in economies and other problems confronting the world at the moment. But assuming that everything continued improving incrementally like it has been, then these numbers are at least possible. Quite different from some of the TAT's predictions last year, which were completely pie in the sky and gave a lot of people a very false sense of security in reopening their properties, which they ended up having to close down again.
Well,
but this has come from our friend.
Yeah, Kun Phumkiti, who is the president of the Phuket Tourism Association, he's actually come out and said, look, it's looking better. The test and go scheme, the entry restrictions being lifted, shows that things are improving, and he hopes that for the last quarter of this year that Phuket is going to get at least, hopefully, 1 million arrivals. And they're hoping that the current tourists from India will improve. Currently, they're about 1,000 per day, thanks to direct flights to Phuket. So he's hoping that number increases. As well as the second largest group of people are coming inbound tourists are from Australia. Currently, in April, there were about 10,000, and they're hoping that number increases to 15,000 per month very soon.
So Phuket's always been a very popular destination for Australians, as is all of Thailand, but having direct flights straight into Phuket has been a big boon for the island. They also, of course, have direct flights into Bangkok, which then services the rest of Thailand, including Pattaya. They didn't have any direct flights into Utupao from Australia, but that might be something that may happen in the future. But as it has been said many times in the past, if you've got the flights, if you've got the traffic, you've got tourists. But without the flights, without the airlines servicing particular areas, you just simply don't have the tourists. People can't get there, they're not going to go there. But Phumkiti, I think, is right on the mark in saying that, it's looking good for a high season, but not only in Phuket, but in other parts of Thailand, as long as they are serviced by the airlines. Interesting that you get, I can't believe that shot. I cannot believe it.
Why?
I've never seen so much headroom on a shot of two people. That's a much better shot, that one, yes. The other one's ridiculous. So I think it's a positive sign. Good on you, Phumkiti. We wish you well. You've done some great job. Hasn't he been a great advocate for Phuket tourism? And when you've got somebody with that sort of intelligence, that drive, getting behind something, then it tends to happen. Well done.
All right, and now some news regarding the airport and a mishap at the Phuket International Airport.
And we should say, well, we seem to be talking about Phuket a lot. It's just that's where some of the news has been over the past 24 hours, including the force of gravity.
Yes, not so good news. A piece of ceiling at the Phuket airport has fallen down, and one passenger was sent to hospital. Now, the piece didn't actually fall on the passenger, but because as the piece was falling, unfortunately, it shocked the passenger and she fainted. And, just for safety measures, she was taken to the hospital.
Do you think she went, oh, everybody's looking at me. I'll faint and fall to the floor and they'll take photos of me. I'll end up in the Tiger.
I think the viewers just saw that piece that actually fell down from the ceiling. It might be larger in person. I'm not sure. That picture's not to scale, obviously. But I looked at that and I said, she saw that piece of aluminium or whatever. Sorry, I'm not sure if it's made of aluminium, but
it was aluminium.
Okay, so she saw that structure, that small structure, falling down, and she fainted. She must have been really scared for her life. Some people, it affects different people differently. I'm in no way trying to make fun of her or something, but it was a bit surprising to me that really that scared her.
Well, she's obviously not as brave as you, Jay. I'd be looking up if I heard a rattle from the roof and wondering if it's going to fall on me. Of course, it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago that at the second airport in Bangkok at Don Mueang, I did my best. We had a whole building literally collapsed, including the roof. And they blamed that on heavy rain. I said, well, heavy rain is just part of living in Thailand.
Yeah.
So there clearly were some engineering deficiencies with that particular building. And with this one, I think the airport director said, oh, there might have been some rain and it softened the roof.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh yeah, that sort of moist aluminium problem.
Well,
What? So yeah, something wasn't attached properly, and it's just not a good look.
Thankfully, she was not injured. For safety measures, she was taken to the hospital just to do a quick checkup, and I hope that this didn't cause any distress or ruins her holiday.
Well, she clearly missed her flight. And it's not a good look when you've got pieces of the roof of an international airport in a departure lounge falling down. And if it actually had fallen and hit her, then we'd probably be hearing a lot more about it. But anyway, I think the airports responded responsibly and said, and they're going to go around and check all the roofs.
She was
Fair
also, by the way, a Thai lady.
Yes.
Yes, and
who has a propensity to faint when things fall from the sky.
well, she was in shock, and she fainted, and things happen, you know. Unfortunately,
You've been much kinder now than you were in the pre-production meeting.
Yeah, because now I'm like, you know, that lady is someone, you don't know what she's been through, and she's someone's mother or wife or sister, and if it was part of your family, you'd react differently.
Well, yes. I mean, I would be asking exactly the same questions. Why did this thing fall?
Yeah.
What wasn't checked? I don't think it's got anything to do with the moisture in the roof. This is made of aluminium.
Yeah.
As far as I know, aluminium doesn't soak up moisture.
Well, officers actually did visit her at the hospital as well. They apologized to her, and
There would have been the bowl of flowers and the
fruits.
the fruits and those bottles of jars of potions. I never know what's in it.
I'm sure they take care of her. I'm sure
Yes,
she'll
they
be
would
all
have at least booked another flight for her.
She'll
and
be all right.
Sent her on her way.
Yeah. All right. Let's take another quick break. Once we come back from the break, our last story is absolute nuts. It's about a cult involving urine, and it's awful.
Bodily functions. And we're also going to have a very quick talk about Eurovision.
Oh, yes.
Because Eurovision starts today.
That too.
Yes.
All right, we'll be back right after this. And welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand with Tim Newton. That's Tim Newton.
Yeah, that's me.
That's a nice shirt.
Thank you very much. So we're going to be talking about a cult.
That's right.
It's interesting to me when I read the story the other day, and it's pretty gross. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
That we don't hear more about cults in Thailand. I would have thought it was sort of a society or a culture that was rampant for cults. But a lot of people might say that some of the existing religions are sort of almost cultish. But this one goes a step further.
Yes, well, in a temple in Khonsan district of Chayapum, there was basically a cult leader was found with his disciples and 11 dead bodies of people.
This wasn't actually in a temple, it was a makeshift temple in the middle of a rice field.
That's right.
And they were sort of hidden away. And that's why I think people have sort of gravitated to this, because I didn't know that was there. Why were they there? Hidden in the rice field.
Yes.
And they had 11 bodies on site?
A 75-year-old cult leader identified as Tawi Nanra. He was arrested in a raid following complaints about a suspected cult, which they were right. And he was basically spreading superstitious beliefs and offered non-scientific treatments of various illnesses in the Tambon Dong Klang.
Pretty weird stuff. And the adherence to his particular cult, which is all very much about him, sort of the dear leader type cult, is they were infusing bodily excretions coming from all different orifices, including flakes and stuff from his skin and dandruff and stuff mixed into brews, that they believed if they drank these, it would make them better.
Or he just made them believe. This spiritual father basically said you can cure your sicknesses by drinking and eating his urine and excrement.
Yay!
Yeah, he also made a yadong, a herbal medicine, and but his recipe included animal hair and bones, as well as coconut shells, according to the officers.
Well, those last three things weren't probably quite as bad as some of the other things listed in the earlier articles. Yeah. I think Kun Anaton was on the mark on this one. He made a remark about the 75-year-old leader.
Quick comment on before that, he's currently out on bail. His bail was set as 50,000 baht. And
paid for by his 62-year-old brother.
The Prime Minister came out and said, disgusting, for obvious reasons. And everyone's favourite health minister came out and said, Tawiz, this spiritual leader, his followers may have called him a spiritual father, but at Sri Tanya Hospital, which is a psychiatric hospital... A psychiatric?
Psychiatric, yes.
Psychiatric hospital.
Right.
They just call him a patient.
Yes, there you go. So, interesting how people get dragged into these cults. But there have been some extremely high-profile, really horrible stories about cults. A lot of them tend to come out of the US for some strange reason, but there's also been plenty, I know, in Australia. Maybe I just haven't read about these other cults in other parts of the world. Up in South Korea, there were some pretty high-profile cults in the 1990s that I remember were reported. But some of these cults can be really, really dangerous. And trying to track them down, when you have things like freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, it's pretty hard to sort of close these down because people are allowed to believe and practice what they want. But this one, clearly he's got a few marbles short.
All right, it's now time for you to talk about your Eurovision.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say about Eurovision is it starts today. Now, I love Eurovision. A lot of people couldn't care less. That's fine. But it does start today and it runs through till Saturday. Every year I have a Eurovision party. Somehow this year's Eurovision, I didn't know it was coming up, and I have neglected to organise a party for this Sunday night. I'm so sorry.
You're like 1%. You're the 1% of the world that watches Eurovision.
Oh, no. It's really, really big, especially obviously in Europe.
In Europe?
Yeah. Oh, sure. It's huge.
Is it?
Yeah, huge. And the British always come last because the Europeans don't like the British because it's all voted for by the various countries.
Oh, is it?
It's hilarious.
Oh, how does that work?
Oh, it's hilarious.
So basically the country that votes for themselves
No, they're not allowed to vote for themselves, but they always vote for the countries they sort of like. And this year, as you can imagine in Europe, there's particularly one country that's not in it this year. The organisers of Eurovision said it would lower the standard or people's impression of Eurovision if they allowed Russia to compete.
Already more than what it is now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But one country that, of course, is allowed to compete this year is Ukraine. Have you got a bit of this is Ukraine performing this year at Eurovision? Because the Eurovision's all about, they have the what do you call it, the sort of semi-finals, and then they whittle the, 16, 20, I can't remember how many countries, but they whittle it down to a final night where they have, I think, about 12 on the final night, and then the winner, they have the big vote that goes on for hours, and the scoreboard, and they cross to Slovenia, and they cross to Sweden, and Australia, for some reason, is in Eurovision. I have no idea why. But this year, you can almost guarantee that Ukraine is going to win. Ukraine, lay down misère, they are going to win.
So does it just become a political thing?
Eurovision has always been very political. So...
Wait, more importantly, why is Australia in Eurovision?
I don't know why. I don't have an answer. They've come second one year, so they've nearly won.
Is it pay to play? Like, do you have to pay to enter the competition?
I don't know. I think Australians just sort of they loved watching Eurovision. The English used to have a guy called Terry Wogan used to do the commentary, and he was very dry, his sense of humour, and there's plenty to laugh at Eurovision. It can be very parochial. The voting is very political. Some of the acts are very folksy. But there's people like ABBA, Celine Dion, have been huge, and they've grown out of Eurovision.
Celine Dion is not from Eurovision.
She performed at Eurovision this one year.
Yeah, while she was already famous.
Usually famous people don't perform at Eurovision. Usually it's it can be a bit of a launch pad for them. But if you go onto the betting, I reckon Ukraine is.
So is it like a national competition? So it's like, for example, does the Australian government, like Ministry of Pop Culture of something, pick up
There would be all the countries, including Australia. I can't believe these people are doing this. Yeah, that's what.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick note.
Turn the camera around so we can see what they're doing.
No, it's all right. We're currently at an OB, and people are, moving around. And
the repair people are here, the maintenance, and it's very distracting. And I'm sorry I was distracted. Anyway, Eurovision, it's on the way, and you can sit and you can watch the Ukraine entry and all the other entries for Eurovision. But lay down, Mazir, put your money on Ukraine. It's definitely going to win.
All right, we're going
Nothing to do with whether the music's good or bad. It'll just win.
Have you seen Will Ferrell's Eurovision?
Oh, I loved it. What was it called?
I thought it's called Eurovision.
Yeah, it was. There was a sort of a. It was a comedy, but it had a heart. I liked it. Will Ferrell's ode to Eurovision. But it's a thing. Eurovision is a big thing. And I used to have a party every year where I'd have some 20 people come around, and we'd dress in our national costumes. I used to just drape an Australian flag around me. That was about as good as I could do. Otherwise, I have to dress up like Steve Irwin or something.
Do you actually support Australia or in the Eurovision, or do you just?
Of course I do. It's very parochial, and we'd sit there and we'd write notes and who we think was going to win, and then it's great. I love it. So good luck to everybody in the Eurovision. Good luck to Australia, and special good luck to Ukraine.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, and then we're going to come back and take some of your comments. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us know if you have any comments regarding any of the topics today. Members, please give us your questions. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand. Tim's been here the whole time.
Yeah, I've been here all the time. I haven't moved from my spot.
Right. I've got a comment here from Fire Dude before we start rolling out the questions. He says, Thaiger, censorship is bad. Also, Thaiger erases comments they don't like. Fire Dude 3337, thanks for the comment. If you're being censored automatically, because we have not censored any comments so far, you're probably not meeting YouTube standards. So therefore, if you use certain words, rude words, your comment will be banned by YouTube itself. If it does make it through our filter is only through regarding profanity. So if you are using profanity, it will be filtered, rightfully so.
If you make libelous comments towards different companies, people, politicians, or even libelous comments about some of the people on Thaiger, we will delete those.
Yeah, so thanks for the comment. The Snive says, I enjoy it. I think he's talking about Eurovision.
Hi, Snives.
Because people need to write their own music.
Yes, there are always original pieces that they are performed. But as I said, some of them are great and some of them are very folksy. It's the folksy ones that are, that are really, really fun. I could show you some amazing Eurovision over the years. I love watching it.
Oh, you don't have any comments? I shall move my laptop.
I can't possibly read that from here. My laptop, I can't get good signal in here with my phone, so I don't have a signal.
There we go.
Here we go.
Jerry Roll Johnson says, like Tim's shirt today.
Thank you very much. And in Bali, I believe he is.
Yeah. Donlam says, is crap a rude word? It is not, according to YouTube, I guess. Yeah.
So there are some, when we do stories about any drugs, and we actually name the drugs, we usually get demonetized automatically by YouTube.
Yeah.
Talk of things like suicide. I mean, there's some very delicate topics. Guns, some violence.
Graphic violence. Yeah.
Depictions of those with pictures and stuff. When the protests were on, they got the water cannons out, demonetized. So
Well, sometimes what I don't agree with is that you could be talking about it, and because of the subtitles, the YouTube system deems it to be, graphic violence, but we're not actually showing any graphic violence. And then it takes time for YouTube to send a manual reviewer and make sure that there's nothing wrong with the video. But by that time, you've already lost a lot of revenue.
The Donlum says, Tim, you are sad. I think referring to my love of Eurovision. Yeah, look, I do love Eurovision. I have very few pleasures in my life. Patreon is one of them.
Yeah. Sick Puppy says, is Bay Hill open?
Well, not too far from us. In Patong, we don't know. We're probably not going to bother checking. We'll hear more about that. I wonder if the Patong police who are sidelined, if they're back to work or not. Oh. Again, we probably won't hear. It'll just happen.
The Dunlum says, Jay, about Eurovision, I'll repeat again, it's all political BS and the songs are crap.
Well, I think there is definitely some politics, but that to me gives it a dynamic which makes it quite interesting to watch the way the votes fall.
But the people vote?
In their countries, they vote, and then they have a national sort of committee, which then they usually have two people there that says it's in Turin this year in Italy, because Italy won it last year. So the country that wins it, they host it the following year. So they would cross over to Slovenia or to the UK, and people go, "Oh, okay, hi, Turin, nice to be here tonight. Now we've got 3 votes for Australia, 2 votes for Canada. No, Canada's not in it. But France, and we've got 1 vote for Sweden." And then they cross over to the next one, and they have the tally board, and it goes on and on. I love it. It's great.
I think because of the movie Eurovision, I feel like the Scandinavians take it very seriously.
Yes, but no, a lot of the countries do take it quite seriously, and winning Eurovision is something that's quite big. And for the host countries, it's sort of like a mini Olympics. It attracts a lot of tourists, a lot of people, a lot of revenue.
What do the winners get?
I don't think they just get the joy.
Like, do they get a record deal in Sweden? I mean, that's not really good for their career. You'd want, I'm gonna go win a Grammy or something. I don't know.
The Swedes and of course the Danish, they are some of the best writers in the world. They have some really good writers.
Yeah, you're right.
And
Sweden's got it going on with their writing songs game.
They write pretty much half the songs in the United States. They hit the Billboard charts are written by these Swedish music factories. It's astonishing talent.
Give me your love. All right, moving on. Kevin Eagle says, would Natty be up for interviewing the cult guy? He sounds like fun. Well, to be honest, Natty would be up for it. I don't think she shies away or is scared of anything, really. So
I'm thinking that he's probably not going to be very proficient in English.
Yes. Or possibly Thai.
Yeah. He's 75 years old. It may be that he needs some medical care and attention.
Yeah. Ryan Bishop says 70% of Thai population uses Facebook, 50% use YouTube. That digital minister is insane. I don't know if those statistics are completely correct. However, I get your point, Ryan. A lot of people in Thailand use Facebook. It's extremely popular.
Really popular.
And YouTube is YouTube. I mean, YouTube is everything, isn't it?
It's ubiquitous. If they ban YouTube, you won't be able to see us.
But yeah, especially Facebook, I think a lot of people would be extremely upset with the Thai government.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they like using these digital online platforms. I mean, there are other ones besides Lazada, but they're so popular these days. They are part of people's lives. It hasn't done much to the retail sector. There are a lot of shops now wondering whether they need to reopen, given that during the last 2 years, they've established these online retail shops, and their exposure is to a much broader audience than the people walking past them in the street. This has changed retail forever, And if you could say nothing else about the COVID pandemic, it has completely rearranged the way people buy and sell things, particularly with retail. Why would you why would you rent a shop anywhere when you could keep, like we've got our inventory at the Thaiger shop in a bedroom in my house. It costs nothing, just a few racks with lots and lots of mugs and lots of T-shirts. And then when people order them, we send them out. That's the way that you will do things in the future. Retail, I think, has got a big challenges ahead. Retail, like a lot of other sectors, like the media, are going to have to reinvent themselves to get people to come into their actual shops.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be the best time to have a retail shop, but there'll always be demand for a physical shop where people can go and...
Well, some things you want to touch and feel them.
Yeah, especially branded items.
Like a car. I mean, I want to drive a car before I buy it, right?
Sure.
Shirt, I do want to try the shirt on before I buy it. But there are some things that you probably don't need to. Just even groceries and stuff. What's this one here? Question. Why so many people that get caught out in corruption just get transferred rather than sacked? That's an interesting one, isn't it? Because anytime there is some controversy with police or the army or anything, or ministries or public servants, they get sidelined. They get sort of sent to head office for office duties. They never get sacked. That's pretty much true. Right?
There seems to be a trend, especially
trend
in the past. I mean, yes, that does happen. That does happen. Yeah.
So yeah, we very rarely hear about people being like suspended until the investigation. They keep their jobs, but they're transferred to office duties.
It's not the same as maybe in US or maybe not US, but like Australia or certain countries, especially Japan, like. There's a lot of shame involved in it. So if you are caught in corruption or doing something illegal, they'll be like, I'm sorry, I've let my party down, I've let my country down, I resign, and then exile themselves for the next 20 years.
Well, that doesn't happen
see
here.
that happen here. Yeah.
No way. No shame at all.
Sick Puppy says, I think the Thai government should have a social media holiday for 1 month to see how the population freak out. Oof, imagine that. Sick Puppy, we wouldn't be able to talk every day of the week for a month. Would you be okay with that?
So a few people talking about Eurovision here. Nicholas saying that Italy are second favourites with bookmakers. Usually the host country are sort of considered favourites. Ukraine are paying $1.57 and are at 47% to win. I'm not sure what that all means, but I'm sure they're favourites to win. Politically, this year it'll be all about Ukraine. The particular act, when you saw a bit of it, it's sort of a rap act this year. Something I probably wouldn't vote for.
Ukraine's song? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it started off like very Eurovision-y, and then it just breaks out into rap, and I was like, whoa!
With a pink bucket hat and the whole thing.
But it must be difficult for them to even perform in Eurovision. I mean...
Well, they're in Italy. They've probably been there for the past
month.
I
know, but what I mean is like, you're out there singing songs where at the same time your country's at war and people are dying. And it must be really difficult for them.
I'm sure. I haven't dissected the lyrics, but I'm sure there'd be some sort of anti-war sentiment in their lyrics.
And I'm guessing they're going to use the platform to basically call for action.
And that's part of the whole Eurovision thing. It usually can be quite political in things that are said during speeches and things. So anyway, Eurovision does start today, but I'm pretty sure that they just come out and they sing Do, Re, Mi, they would win this year.
Yeah.
It's political.
212 Roger says, Justin Bieber got 3 strikes. He can never buy a Ferrari ever. He must have done something bad.
What's he referring to, the strikes? Is this like the story yesterday talking about students being given strikes?
I think so. No, but Ferrari in general is a very exclusive brand. You need to be somebody to be able to buy the top models of Ferrari. Like even if you were a billionaire tomorrow, you wanted to buy a Ferrari, you couldn't just buy a LaFerrari, which is, the creme de la creme of Ferraris.
Right.
You'd have to basically first buy a smaller, maybe second-hand Ferrari, an older version to show them that you're interested, build a reputation, become a member, pay this. I think you also have to join their conventions or meetings that happen once or twice a year.
Good God.
Just
to get from A to B in exactly the same time as my Honda.
Yeah, but, if you're happy, I mean, a person who's going to firstly spend that much money to buy a Ferrari, they think differently. They live life differently.
Sure.
I guess. Yeah.
But, I mean, look, if that's your business model, Ferrari, good luck to you.
It's worked for them so far.
Sure. And maybe it makes the brand more desirable.
Definitely. I get all my entertainment from the Thaiger. I don't care about Eurovision, says Ryan Bishop. Thank you for the comment, Ryan.
Ryan, how could you? I'm shocked. I'm deeply hurt.
Tim, you are the Euro in Eurovision, like Australia is participating in the Eurovision.
Yeah, look, I don't understand why Australia is in Eurovision. It has been for the past
Scandalous.
7 or 8 years. I don't know why, but it is. Embrace. You couldn't get much further away from Europe than Australia.
Is there an Asian version of Eurovision?
No, there should be. It would be huge in Asia.
What do we call Asiavision?
But given that there are some Asian countries that love their karaoke, they love singing, Asia Eurovision, we could call it Asiavision or something. I don't know why they haven't franchised it. Would be a big hit.
Yeah.
The Filipinos would win every year. I'm not sure about their songwriting,
Oh yeah, they're
but
pretty good at
love
singing.
singing.
Yeah.
Jason's half Filipino.
Yes.
You should hear him sing.
Yeah. We've got a comment here from Dale, who's not only a Thaiger member, I believe I got an email from Dale, and he used to be the head, I apologize, Dale. I think the head, what's it called? The person who helps with university choices and guidance counseling.
Right.
And if I haven't got that completely wrong, at my previous school. So we have that connection. We belong to the same school in one way or another.
You were the same alumni.
Yeah, but he was a teacher. He was a guidance counselor.
They're not allowed to be alumni. You have to be a student, do you?
Yeah, of course.
Don't they include the teachers as well?
I don't know. But I mean, the whole point of being an alumni is that you studied there.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, BIS represent. He says Phuket reported only 24 positive PCRs today. What's your guess about when bar/entertainment restrictions will end here?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a Phuket thing. It's going to be a Thailand thing. The CCSA will decide at some stage that they're going to officially reopen bars. The fact that they're already open and functioning and operating is just a mockery of the whole situation. So it is incumbent really on the government and the CCSA just to open bars ASAP. But it won't just be Phuket or Pattaya, it will be across Thailand.
Do you think Phuket will be the first place in Thailand to open them?
No, I think they'll do it universally across the board. They have to.
Okay, fair enough.
They can't preclude I mean, Pattaya has had a particularly bad over the past 12 months. Phuket's had a really clear run, and I think they've learnt the error of their ways.
Well, if I'm not wrong, Sick Puppy, who is, I believe, still in Pattaya, commented earlier that it's quite lively, and I mean, all the pubs are up in Pattaya.
Yeah, and then that's the point. The fact that they have pretty much mostly reopened. There's still plenty closed, including all the hot spots around Thailand. But yeah, it's time the CCSA needs to just say, look, the numbers are just catapulting in a downward direction. We've got this under control. We've got much better treatment. We know a lot more about the disease than we used to. Open up. They're not testing people before they come to Thailand, so there's no numbers there anymore. So if you're not going to be counting cases, just open up the bars. Get over it.
I hope that answered your question, Dale.
So just in case YouTube has been closed down and you can't see this.
All right. Tom Photo Benzman says, Ferrari is a barber car.
What does that mean?
No idea.
A barber car.
But thank you for your comment. I don't think barbers can afford a Ferrari unless you're a really fancy barber.
Referring to Bieber in the comment earlier? I don't know. We're not sure.
Sick Puppy says, wake me up when the talk ends on Eurovision. Mackie says, give us a song, Tim. We all know you want to.
No.
All right, fair enough. And let's take one last question from our members. Most bars are open until 2 a.m. in Pattaya, says Sick Puppy, further confirming
There you
that
go.
Pattaya is lively.
So, thank you very much for that little ditty at the end there.
Very welcome.
So this is the point. I mean, the bars are reopening. They're opening well past the allotted time. That's fine. It doesn't particularly bother me.
Yeah.
So why doesn't the double CSA go, okay, we're allowing this to happen. The police aren't enforcing it. So just open up the bars.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
All right. We're going to end with this last comment for today, with where Dave Southard says, Jay, with no YouTube, you could still talk every day. We just wouldn't hear you. Thank you very much for your comment.
He does. And even when he does, we don't listen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the show so far. If you have enjoyed it, please click the like button. Please subscribe. This is a true fact. I am not making this up. 45% of the viewers every day are not subscribed. Please subscribe. Please click the notification button. It actually helps us a lot.
It does. And it just takes you one single stroke.
And you know, for hygienic purposes, you don't need to touch your tongue as well.
Well, you can.
Well, you could.
It's your own tongue.
You could. It is your own tongue. Well said.
Go Ukraine in Eurovision. Good luck.
All right. We hope you have a great day today. It is a slightly
moist.
slightly gloomy, wet day in Phuket. But wherever you are in Thailand or in the world, we hope you have a great Wednesday, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Once again, live at 10 a.m. here at Trichada